we have a standard for that position, regardless of who's in there. Practice, games, how we operate, what we believe in. We have a very, very high standard.
And if one guy happens to be a little bit off, then the play doesn't work. And I think it's always it always takes a little bit of time to get all 11 guys operating on full cylinder, especially when you're rotating a bunch of guys in during training camp and you have a bunch of guys taking reps. It's just it just makes it even a little bit harder. But I mean, he pushed the boundaries like he did in absolutely everything. No surprise that he did it in that way as well. But I don't think it's necessarily something that I actively think about until people kind of remind me with texts and things like that, and you guys ask me about it.
Joe Flacco has officially been named the starter for Week 1 of the NFL season, and when he spoke to the media, he didn't just focus on himself. He made sure to praise Shedeur Sanders. Flacco highlighted how the things Shedeur has done in training sessions, minicamp, and OTAs have pushed him to work even harder. That's high praise coming from a veteran quarterback who knows what it takes to compete at the highest level. On the other hand, Flacco also addressed Dillon Gabriel's struggles, particularly the costly fumble in his first preseason start. He acknowledged that Gabriel simply needs more time to adjust and get in sync with the full team, and he expressed confidence that Gabriel will improve. But here's the real question. If Joe Flacco himself is praising Shedeur Sanders and recognizing the kind of talent he's bringing to the field, then why isn't Kevin Stefanski moving Shedeur up to the second-string role? Before we dive deeper into this discussion, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like, because every single subscription and like helps us keep rolling and bringing you the latest updates straight from the NFL. Even with Flacco locked in as the Week 1 starter, the conversation surrounding Shedeur Sanders is heating up, and it's very real. Flacco himself admitted that while he's the starter, Shedeur is right there competing at a high level. So the question becomes, why isn't Shedeur getting more opportunities with the first team? Analyst Garrett Bush didn't hold back when addressing this issue. He argued that although Flacco deserves the starting role, football is unpredictable and unforgiving, which is exactly why the Browns should be preparing Shedeur now instead of keeping him sidelined. According to Bush, they're holding back a player who could be a key part of the team's future.
The Cleveland Browns are one play away from talking about one of these two kids starting. And the scary thing is, instead of preparing them and getting them ready to play, and getting them ready to be a guy that's going to back up a 41-year-old quarterback.
Garrett Bush didn't hold back at all. He came right out and said that Kevin Stefanski isn't interested in doing what's best for the team. Instead of grooming his young quarterback, Stefanski has pushed Shedeur Sanders off to the sidelines with the support staff, while handing critical reps to a 41-year-old Joe Flacco, one injury away from putting the entire season in jeopardy. Bush argued this isn't some isolated move. It's a recurring pattern. Time after time, the same mistakes are made, and in his view, this is exactly the kind of decision that sets the Browns on a downward path. Once again, it feels like the team is letting opportunities slip right through their fingers, and fans can't help but ask, has this organization really learned anything from its past failures?
You play games and have them thrown on a side field with support staff. This is the stuff that the Cleveland Browns drop the ball on every single time. They worry about the wrong stuff.
And Garrett's point holds weight because this isn't new. It's a clear pattern. If you caught Kevin Stefanski's most recent press conference, it was hard to ignore how uneasy he seemed even bringing up Shedeur Sanders' name. The hesitation was obvious, and when reporters pressed him about why he suddenly chose to start his main quarterback in the third preseason game, something he avoided doing last year, his response was vague at best. "We do what the players need." That's not the kind of conviction you'd expect from a head coach talking about the future of his team. It didn't come across as leadership. It came across as dodging the real issue. And that only makes the speculation louder. Because maybe, just maybe, the Browns don't actually have a plan for Shedeur Sanders. If that's the case, this isn't just about a quarterback competition. It's about a deeper problem in leadership right at the top.
Practice in week 1. And then this year, just feel like that's what this team needs to get ready. Try to every single year make decisions based on what the guys need. So that's what we'll do.
And here's the real issue. Shedeur Sanders hasn't been given a single real chance. No game snaps. No time with the first-team offense. So how does that line up with Stefanski's claim of doing what the players need? If the Browns are truly committed to developing talent, then leaving Sanders stranded on the sidelines makes absolutely zero sense. Fans are frustrated, and rightfully so. The one quarterback they're most excited about, the one who represents the future, hasn't even been allowed to step on the field and prove himself. Instead of inspiring confidence, Stefanski's words now sound like excuses. And rather than clarity, his answers are only sparking more doubt, more frustration, and more questions about what the future of the Browns' quarterback position really looks like. On the flip side, when Joe Flacco was asked about Shedeur Sanders possibly feeling frustrated with the system, he took a very different stance. Flacco made it clear that in the NFL, nothing comes easy. Every player has to fight with everything they've got. He admitted that for a young talent like Shedeur, it's natural to feel restless or even bored at times, but insisted that it's on him to push through those feelings. Flacco dismissed the idea that there's anything wrong with how Shedeur is being handled, instead putting the responsibility squarely on Shedeur's mindset and his ability to stay locked in.
Yeah, listen, I think the thing that as you get in the league, no matter what position you are, the part of it that you deal with mentally that maybe is a little bit of a struggle, not an advantage, is that you got to fight like the boredom and the monotony of doing it for so long. I mean,
even though Flacco tried to defend Kevin Stefanski's stance, the analysts aren't buying it. Ryan Clark, for one, came out swinging. He made it clear that Shedeur Sanders simply hasn't been given the game-time opportunities he needs to truly prove himself. And honestly, he's got a point. How can the Browns possibly evaluate their quarterback of the future once Joe Flacco's time is up if Sanders isn't even getting real snaps in meaningful situations?
That's the thing. If they don't play, Swag, how do you know? Like even if they're at practice and like Jason said, we're seeing them do well against the ones playing well in 7-on-7. It's still practice.
We're talking about practice, but RC,
not the game.
That's the question that I'm asking.
The cloud of uncertainty around Stefanski's decisions only seems to get heavier. When reporters pressed him once more about who would back up Joe Flacco, his reply was brief and non-committal. "We'll make that call in a couple of days." But let's be honest, that doesn't sound like a carefully thought-out plan. It comes across more like buying time. And fans aren't fooled. This doesn't resemble a genuine quarterback competition. It feels more like another excuse to sideline Shedeur Sanders. Stefanski's vague, hesitant responses don't project confidence or clarity. Instead, they come off as stalling tactics, which in the NFL can be just as damaging as making the wrong decision outright. Indecision at this level isn't just questionable, it can derail an entire season.
What do you plan to do at quarterback for the dress rehearsal game, and what is the timeline for naming a Week 1 starter?
Yeah, I want to get through the next couple days, but certainly that's something that we're going to do here sooner than later.
At the end of the day, this entire situation with the Browns feels bigger than just a quarterback debate. It's about direction, leadership, and trust. Joe Flacco may be the starter right now, but the lingering questions around Shedeur Sanders won't go away anytime soon. With veterans like Flacco openly praising him and analysts across the board pointing out his potential, the Browns are walking a dangerous line by keeping him in the background. Kevin Stefanski's vague answers and hesitation only add more fuel to the fire, making it seem less like a strategy and more like indecision. And in the NFL, indecision can be fatal. The Browns need to figure out whether they truly see Shedeur Sanders as part of their future, or risk letting a golden opportunity slip right through their hands. Because one thing is clear, this isn't just about who takes the field in Week 1. This is about setting the tone for the franchise moving forward. And if the Browns don't get this right, it won't just be Shedeur Sanders paying the price. It'll be the entire team and fan base. What do you think, Browns fans? Should Shedeur Sanders already be getting real opportunities with the first team? Or is Kevin Stefanski right to hold him back for now? Do you believe this is just part of a bigger plan? Or is it another case of the Browns repeating old mistakes? And most importantly, do you see Shedeur as the future face of this franchise? Tell us your thoughts in the comments section below. We'd love to hear what you think.